How is everybody? It's Thursday night here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We hope everybody's had a great day. Everybody's had a great week. Hello, Clint Powell, the man. During the Break podcast, you need to be giving that a listen. You definitely do. Hello, Alan. Hello, Vicki Taylor. Ron Hall here. Jump into the fire. I tell it as I see it. Hello, Kim. We hope all is well over at the Klein household tonight. Yeah, I'm having a cigar. For those critics, because I ask that people please wear a damn mask, but some people like to criticize the fact that I smoke. And as always remember and never forget, I have a special message for that. So there it is. Unfortunately, and if you do keep up with my social media, COVID has hit my family and hit it hard. My daughter, Amy, her daughter, Chastity, and Chastity's daughter, Ashley, 1 year old. My great granddaughter, Ashley, she's just turned 1. They all three have COVID. Chastity tested positive Tuesday. Amy and the baby tested positive yesterday. So they are in quarantine for 14 days. Now, you've seen news footage of folks who go visit their loved ones in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Well, I did that this afternoon. I went over to their apartment in beautiful Las Vegas. Yeah, right. Beautiful, my ass. And Amy came outside, and I stayed 20 to 30 feet away from her. And I talked to my granddaughter and my great-grandchild through the window about 20 feet away. People probably thought we were nuts, but you know what? So be it, because they are in quarantine for 14 days, and I know my daughter is beside herself because she's a daddy's girl, that's for dang sure. And how's she going to handle not having her dad
Roadhouse
there? But I will help her all I can. I talked to my cardiologist and said, you don't need to go into quarantine. If you feel nervous, go get tested. I was arraigned for about 15 minutes Tuesday. And the doctor said, thank you, Kim. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Tina. I just heard from someone who I respect very, very much. And my prayers are with them too. And folks, it's really time to take this shit seriously. And I know we have those people who say it infringes upon my freedom, I guess you want to be free to spread disease to everybody else and stay the F away from me. Most of the ones complaining we do not run. Thank you, Janice, over in South Carolina. It's going to be a trying 2 weeks. I have diligently taken my temperature, so everybody knows 30 minutes ago my temperature was 97.9. And my understanding is once you are exposed, it does not take long before the symptoms to hit. Keep my cousin, Dr. Christopher Haddock, one of the most respected doctors in this area, who was there in the beginning and said, this is some serious shit. You need to understand just how serious it is. He has it. So, all you people who are mask deniers, it's coming. And there's talk that one of the 2 vaccines will be available by the end of the year. Kudos. If you've not heard, Dolly Parton donated $1 million to Moderna in their quest to find a vaccine. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee tonight. My favorite coffee mug in the whole wide world. Kudos to my old Hickson High School buddy, County Mayor Jim Coppinger, quarterback, number 11, now the county mayor, who extended the Hamilton County mask mandate till January the 15th. Big thumbs up to County Mayor Coppinger. I mean, it would be very, very nice if at least the mayors of Dade, Walker, or whoever is in charge for Dade, Walker, Catoosa County in Georgia, Bradley County in Tennessee, Ray County in Tennessee, Marion County in Tennessee would do the same thing. Because I have been in stores in Hamilton County where people will complain that they have to put on a mask. Well, we don't have one where I live in Georgia. That's the problem in Hamilton County. While Hamilton County's cases keep growing exponentially. Yes, a big word. And it's kind of sad. But kudos to Mayor Coppinger. I didn't even check to see how many cases there were today. This is some food for thought. The Chattanooga Mocs athletic director, Mark Wharton, a fine man who I have the utmost respect for. Hello, Betty. Man who... Mark Wharton, I have the utmost respect for. Today, it was decided by Chattanooga Mocs Athletics that there will be no fans in attendance for basketball or for athletic events during the month of December. If you're not aware, Chattanooga women's basketball, I may have mentioned this Monday night, but they have already canceled the first 2 games of the season due to COVID. And now the edict has come down and the season starts next week. There's men's game in the arena, but both men's and women's games during the month of December, there will be no fans in the seats of McKenzie Arena. I think it's coming. Several states, Ohio for one, California, I understand, announced a curfew today. Now, in the ideal world, we've got the mask mandate in Hamilton County. But I think that bars, restaurants, and everything else should go back to limited capacity. Because what I'm going to do tomorrow night, I am going to go to two well-known watering holes on Brainerd Road, and I'm going to take you some photos of just how jammed packed those places are and how lackadaisical management is regarding COVID. Oh, Alan, it's happening everywhere. There's already been a North Georgia football game canceled or postponed or whatever. Heritage is not going to be playing this week. Tennessee's going to be lucky to finish out the football season. And the only reason I'm going to take them from the outside, Betty. I promise you. But I'm going to just show you how lackadaisical bar and restaurant management is toward COVID. And I understand. Hold on. My buddy Linda down in Florida. And I need Carol's number, Linda, because I saw where her mother passed. Let's see. And Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, maybe it is time to put Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on the piece of shit list. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, you are a piece of shit. Because he has signed an executive order stating that counties and cities cannot issue an enforceable mask mandate. We were warned that there was a second wave coming. It's here, and it's bigger than the first wave. And now that it has hit my family, I'm going to be even more in the pulpit, whatever you want to call it, preaching wear a mask. Please, for God's sakes, wear a mask. If you go to the Times Free Press and their story about Mayor Coppinger extending the mask mandate, very dear friend of mine, Melissa Baskett, who lost her dad to COVID, pleads with people to please wear a mask. And that's why I talk about those two infamous watering holes on Brainerd Road. Probably 500 yards separate them. One of them is, how can I put it? Known for women with big, well-endowed chests, let's put it that way. Can you read between the lines? And the other is what you call a friend, or as Jeff Spicoli said in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, "Hey, bud, let's party." Management there needs to step up. Hello, Susan. I think I told this one time. That was Susan who just commented. She can call me that because she's known me pretty much my entire life. Susan was my first crush. I had to do it, Susan. But I'll have you some photos. Saturday night, 7 o'clock right here. And show you just how lackadaisical it is. And folks, it's just as bad in other places. It's just as bad with restaurants. I mean, take your pick of restaurants. There are no rules. You can run full capacity. Don't tell me that's not had a cause. That's not a cause for the uptick in cases. Also, folks, is it they don't care? Or are they just tired of it? But, I mentioned Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And last night, I watched one of my favorite movies ever made. It's not in my top 10, but it is one of my favorites. I mean, there are some movies out there that just make you feel good. But I watched Dazed and Confused last night. And I watch it when it's on. Yes, Betty, I am going to get the vaccine. I trust science. I prefer the Moderna vaccine. It is 94.7% effective. It's also 2 doses, and it doesn't have to be stored at like 90 below zero temperatures or something. Yes, and I think I heard on the news last night, excuse me while I take a sip. That Tennessee is going to be one of the first states to receive the vaccine. And of course, healthcare professionals and first responders are going to be the first ones to receive the vaccine. And then people like me who are at high risk will be next in line. So you're damn right, I'm going to take the vaccine. I got no choice. I'm not ready to go anywhere yet. And hopefully you guys would like to have me hang around a little longer. But we were talking about those movies. And I may watch this one tonight if I can find it streaming somewhere. That's right, Alan. It's cold outside. Got to have some coffee. I mean, I've not even eaten dinner yet. I will eat dinner when this is over. But I got to thinking last night, there are a couple of Tom Hanks movies that just make me feel good. If it's been a shitty day, these 2 movies will make me feel good. One of them is That Thing You Do. If you've ever seen it, it's a cute movie. It is entertaining. It's not delivering a message. It's just entertaining you. And my second go-to Tom Hanks movie is Larry Crown. Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts. I mean, it's a romantic comedy, and it is hilarious. It's great. It shows that us old farts can change. That's one thing I've told everybody. I might be, quote unquote, a senior citizen, but there are just some things I won't do. Which one do you have, Betty? That thing you do or Larry Crown? I'm not going to wear a cap that says world's greatest grandpa. I'm not going to wear baggy ass jeans. I'm not going to use Skin Bracer or Old Spice or something like that. I love that movie, Betty. And is it just me? And I don't want to sound like I'm violating the Me Too movement. But does Julia Roberts not get more beautiful the older she gets? Or is that just me? But Dazed and Confused and Fast Times at Ridgemont High are on my list of when I... Hey, Rhonda, how are you? Rhonda Bishop Swaney, she is it council person or whatever in Ringgold? And she says it right here. I mean, if you read the comment, tired of people saying schools are safe. At her school where she teaches, there are 10 positive teacher cases and 27 positive kids. Folks, I understand, and kudos to Hamilton County Superintendent Brian Johnson, and I was pretty much on it, sort of. They're just trying to get through to the Thanksgiving holiday. Then there's a break, and then Hamilton County is going, for the high school students, they're going to phase 2, which is 3 days virtual, 2 days in class. Hopefully that's going to work. But it's time to do something. And I understand the parents' problems. Been there, done that. But it's spread. It's in the schools and it's spreading. They're taking it home. It's getting the families. My family, daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter are all locked down for 14 days. I know another family where everybody in the house has it. And then you have people on there, if you want to go have Thanksgiving dinner, go have it. That's right, go have it. Take it to grandma. It's time to do something. But back to the movies. But both Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Dazed and Confused, they just remind me of my high school days. And if I didn't like him and respect him so much, if you're still there, Susan, give me a heads up that you're still there. Because there's a line in Dazed and Confused that is very, very appropriate to an old friend of mine. You know what I like about high school girls? I get older and they stay the same age. We know somebody like that, don't we, Susan Sutton Vaughn? But they just both remind me of that. And the closing of Dazed and Confused is so good. The kid comes home at 6 a.m. Mom, this is your one get out of jail free card. And goes in his room, puts his headphones on, and cranks up the music at 6 o'clock in the morning. And apparently, my old buddy, the late Stump Martin, had talked to some folks I went to high school with because early on working with him, he started calling me Spicoli. Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. All I need is tasty waves of cool buzz. But they're just those movies that make you feel good. And in these days and times, you need them. Find you a couple of movies. And when life is beating the shit out of you, pop it in and just try to forget everything for a couple hours. And see, Betty, I have been lucky in that Showtime Family has had Larry Crown on rotation. So I've watched it a couple of times during all this mess the last month or so. And it just brings a smile to your face. It really does. A couple of sports things. I know I'm all over the place tonight. They fired the coach of South Carolina, Will Muschamp. And now some reports are saying that my old friend, now the coach at Charlotte, Will Healy, is one of the people who will get a serious look. And I love Will Healy to death. I've known him what seems like forever. In fact, I've got a picture of he and Stump Martin and myself on the old Stump on Sports set when he was the quarterback at Boyd Buchanan, and he's head coach at Charlotte now. It's too soon for Will. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I think it would be good of me to call her or at least text her, and because it sucks. No matter how old you are, if you lose a parent, it sucks. And it just really does. I lost both my parents. I lost my father in 1979. And I lost my mom in 1983. And there's not a day goes by that I don't miss them. I mean, I embarrassed myself with my dad because I was drunk the entire 3 days. I just hit a little half pint in my sport coat jacket and would walk outside every now and then and take a swig. But it's devastating to lose a parent no matter how old you are. And Carol Davis is a damn good person. And I think I'll text her in a little bit and tell her. But hey, Linda, guess who else has COVID? They tested positive yesterday. I know this is a little bit too personal probably, but y'all are sticking with me. Linda, ex-wife number one, tested positive. Amy and Christopher's mother tested positive for it yesterday. So, I mean, it's there, and we got to do something about it because it's getting freaking ridiculous. And thank God, at least yes, Linda. At least Mayor Coppinger has the testicular fortitude to try to do something about it. I just wish he were a little bit tougher, and the health department would say restaurants and bars need to go back to minimum 50% capacity. I don't know. But, these are trying times. But it's not time for Will Healy to have a head coaching job in the SEC. It's just not. The SEC's too tough. And South Carolina is a hard job. I mean, you're lucky if you had, let's take the Steve Spurrier years out, because that's an anomaly. Because what kid would not want to play for Steve Spurrier? So he was able to get Marcus Lattimore and Jadeveon Clowney to stay home and play for South Carolina. But it's not time yet, Will. It's not time. The Baseball Hall of Fame ballot is out. If I were a voting member, I don't know if I would vote for Todd Helton for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Realistically, nobody else on that ballot deserves it. No, I'm not going to vote for Roger Clemens. No, I'm not going to vote for Barry Bonds. No, I'm not going to vote for A-Rod, although Alex Rodriguez is turning out to be one of the better baseball people on television. I saw that, Janice. Well, there's a possibility a friend of mine could be the next coach. Don't know yet, but Todd Helton belongs in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was stuck in Colorado for his career. And that's really the kiss of death, is to be stuck a Colorado Rocky. But I just don't see it. And before anybody says, what about Pete Rose? Pete Rose does not belong in the Baseball Hall of Fame because he broke the rules of baseball. It's written in the rules of baseball. Basically, it says if you are gambling, you are to be banned from baseball for life. And don't give me this, well, maybe when he dies, he'll go in. Nope, they didn't put Joe Jackson in. Shoeless Joe didn't go in after he died. So don't put Pete Rose in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He cheated. He gambled. He bet on his team. But, I think Tennessee plays Saturday. I don't know. Really don't care, because I'm not a Tennessee fan. And that all goes back to the fact that when John Ward retired, they didn't give the job to Randy Smith. If you're not reading Randy Smith's stuff in Chattanooga.com, if you're a sports fan of any kind, you need to be reading it. I would be remiss, and I failed to mention it the last couple of times. This area's high school sports have lost two unbelievable people. First was Clifford Kirk, and then just a couple of days ago, Catherine Neely at East Ridge. Coach Neely succumbed to COVID. She was a coach for 47 years. She's been the athletic director at East Ridge High School for the last 20. And I know it's too soon, but I can foresee. I don't know how Hamilton County is set up. I know in North Georgia, most of the athletic directors are not an active coach. but I can see I can see Tim James taking over as the athletic director at East Ridge. And I had interviewed Coach Neely a few times in the past, and we had some conversations, but it was Clifford Kirk, who I did numerous television interviews with. 10 state softball championships. Yep. Coach Neely was a great, great person, and she will be missed in this area, and so will Clifford Kirk. Clifford Kirk, at this point in time, is the GOAT of high school softball coaches. 10 state championships, 8 at Soddy Daisy, 2 at Hickson. Now, Dana Mull down at Gordon Lee is giving him a run for his money, because Gordon Lee just wins year after year after year after year after year after year after year. Kim Klein knows what I'm talking about. But there was only one Clifford Kirk, and if you ask him point blank, and I have, who the greatest pitcher, the greatest high school pitcher he's ever had, he'll tell you it was not Beth Keelan. It's not Kelsey Nunley. It was Nikki Waters. So Clifford will be missed. I don't think anybody has ever learned all the circumstances as to why he left Soddy Daisy. Maybe one day that'll come out. But that's going to about wrap it up. I'm on a COVID tear, and I apologize if that gets old and if that gets boring. Saturday night, we'll try to go a little bit lighthearted. Think about those go-to movies. That sounds like it may be fun to talk about. Those go-to movies when you're feeling kind of down in the dumps. What movie will pick you up? Because, I gave you 4 of mine. And, what the hell? Hopefully you like the new little roll instead of what I've been showing. That is thanks to executive producer, my son, Chris. Don't forget, if you need a new Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, give my buddy Nicole Albert a call over at Jaguar Land Rover of Chattanooga. She's great, great, great stuff over there. Also, for all of your insurance needs, all of them, personal, business, whatever you need, think about my buddy Kai Edwards at Reliable Insurance Services. The guy can hook you up. I promise you, he can hook you up with the insurance that you need. I mean, if you're a landlord and you own property, he can hook you up with the insurance on those properties. And it's definitely needed in these days and times. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Kim. I'll probably stay on that tear until COVID is over, because we've just got some jackwagons out there that just don't care about their fellow human beings. So if you're out and about, please wear a mask. Please social distance. We will see you Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Until then, remember, please be kind to each other. Good night.
First to